with the buff that Breach had, but now that Breach even has that buff, maybe that could be the agent that he's going to turn to on this map of Split.
I think it'll be certainly interesting to see what they decide to do with their composition, but I'm wondering, you know, overall, what is 100 Thieves going to do on this map? And you know, more to my point with the unknowns here, is that Cloud9 has had a relatively inconsistent track record on the map. And what I mean by that is not necessarily the win percentage or the overall performance against all teams, but, you know, they've been changing their composition up almost every time I've seen Cloud9 play this map. And, you know, they're going to go with the Killjoy here on a Mitch, which I think they've stuck with for a while now. And I think for 100 Thieves, the challenge is, you know, do you get an early start? Do you get an early lead on your defense as you did on Ascent? And Mitch starting things out strong here for Cloud9 with an early pick at B main against 100 Thieves and already into the action now on the pistol van, Silly.
Yeah, you definitely do, right? You wanted to see if they wanted to go aggressive. Actually, it was 100 Thieves that went aggressive by pushing towards that B main. Then now it's in terms of Cloud9 to push back. They go through the vents. It's going to be TenZ playing as a Reyna as they're pushing inside the A site. And you see that breach now being picked by Hiko for this attempt of a retake. But we have 4 players of Cloud9 all the way towards A heaven, and we have 1 walking back towards the site. And as he comes out of the shadows, it's going to be Steel that pops him in the face. But in the end, it's still going to be a 3-man advantage for Cloud9 as they move inside that site. Spike is planted for a heaven on top of that too, so it's going to be such a hard play for Asuna, who still manages to get 1 frag onto TenZ. Now here comes that turret that spots him, a double peek right after, and Mitch once again rings with the frenzy, and Cloud9 take the pistol.
The frenzy is getting some love in this series, man. I love to see it. The CZ days of old, man, I miss those, right? CSGO, love getting Nico'd every round. But you know what? Even in that last attempt, even in Asuna, like 100 Thieves, if you're going to deny Cloud9 a 2-1 victory over you here on Split, they had the benefit of going up with a very, very early lead and kind of dominated the defensive half on Ascent. You know, they're going to need to come out and make a statement here, because I think Cloud9 recognizes that, you know, Ascent didn't go their way, and it was not, it didn't go as planned, but they also weren't playing well individually, you know, across the board. Yeah. So I think it's a reset button that Cloud9 needs to hit, and if you give them that level of breathing room here, you give them some early life, you know, they might be due to run away with it. So 100 Thieves, I love that they were wise enough to this mid play from 100 Thieves. You just check the minimap, there's 5 players that were ready for a mid push. Cloud9 thought better of it and is deciding instead to contact here out of B main. And a genius play call now, because, well, 100 Thieves has kept the mid stack. I haven't quite figured it out yet. That breach hasn't spotted it, but he will now. The jig is up. Cloud9 is on B for free. And all 5 players of 100 Thieves have entered B heaven, but are not on the site yet. And this is interesting because Cloud9 doesn't have all 5 players here either. There's 1 moving through spawn, so first 2 kills going the way of Cloud9 is actually going to relieve some of that pressure. Shinobi finds another, and now it's just 2 players alive for 100 Thieves. Hiko will find one with a nice headshot on a TenZ. Another one on a Shinobi. The boomer aim is coming in strong. And for Cloud9, you want to keep all 5 players alive in these rounds, of course, but already losing 2. Just want to keep what you got. Relyks find Hiko finally. Just Nitro. 1v3. Peering into the B-bomb site, boldly taking a challenge that he's just not quite landing the shots with, but Relyks will clean that up. Round is over now. 2-0 Cloud9. And suddenly they're on the board, and they have the lead. It's been a while since we could say that.
That's true. That's true. 100 Thieves at that point for that pistol, for that eco that they had. I like the lineup of all 5 players, just focusing on that mid side so that they could be a barrage for anybody trying to take control of that mid side, just like how TenZ took advantage of that on that pistol. But should they push towards the A side or the B side, it's such a quick rotate where they don't have to worry about a flanker immediately, and 4 or 5 players could work from the heaven side and fire down. They'll have the verticality advantage too. So I like that idea. The only difficult part is that it's pistols versus everything else. But now it is going to be Asuna looking to press back charge towards the entrance of the garage, and he manages to get the first kill onto Relyks despite being flashed by Vice's flashpoint. The rest of them now working towards mid, or towards the A side, sorry. They're trying to take control of the A, but it's still Steel holding it back towards the A site.
Man, I love that play, that early aggression over at B, and it's paying off now as we're already in a 5-on-2. The A players doing their job. Nitro rock solid over there, and A heaven finds his second on the round. That's shinobi to fall, and it's just Vice lurking around mid this breach, able to find a Vandal headshot onto Dicey. But, 1v4 here. You got a lot of time left on the clock, but this is a tall ask and a tall order when, in a lot of ways, these gunfights won't be open to you. But as I say that, Asuna takes the challenge regardless, and an unnecessary one at that, but won't have that much of a ramification into the next round, as they will potentially keep all 3 players alive here. Yeah, Vice just
30 seconds
just rolling
left.
around, throwing some disrespect onto the body. You love to see it.
He's like, you're not taking me alive. I'm going to stay into this one. You're going to win these fights later on once we have our money right, too. I mean, this is still the bonus round that you kind of had for Cloud9, despite Vice having that Vandal to start things off.
I want to talk for a second about that B aggression. So we saw basically the Roomba into a nade, right?
Yep.
So he forces them back and is able to just swing basically through a cloud burst and spray into that general area. He had a nice angle rolling out of it, but I mean, just the amount of confusion on Cloud9's, and they kept trying to almost like creep up, like get into the face, and they're like, oh, we'll just concede a little bit of ground. And then once that paint shell came out, man, it was all 100 Thieves. And the fact of the matter is, Cloud9 2-1. I love to see that kind of aggression out of 100 Thieves when, you lose pistol, you lose the follow-up round. You don't want to concede the bonus, especially not on an attack side split where, building an economy, building the opportunities to put an operator in the hands of Dicey is just something that, even on a map like Split where it doesn't necessarily have the greatest of impacts, it's going to play a factor here. Early aggression, though, gets punished this time by Relyks. They're wise to it. Asuna falls. 5-on-4 now. Split is it's a little bit difficult to come back into these rounds as defenders sometimes because the personnel to do it isn't there, but we already have 3 players from 100 Thieves over here towards the B bomb site. So if a B split does come in, they will be ready, Van Silly. And seems like it's due any moment now.
You adapt quickly there for Cloud9, right? That is the 3rd round in a row. You're trying to take pressure towards this garage, and they got caught on that 2nd time, but this time it was a flashpoint to enable all of Cloud9 and try to get into the site. But they're still holding their grounds. Not anymore, though. They all fall. Nitro is going to be the last one to go. He's rotating back here from ropes. He's on a 2 versus 1, so it could still be a doable fight here if you get a kill right away. Thing is, though, he doesn't have any information whatsoever, with the exception of the spike being planted. Somebody's going to be in the vicinity, but now too much time has passed where that person could be anywhere across this B site. And it's a big crossfire setup, and a tag to come forward from TenZ to start things off at the garage side, where Nitro is trying to capitalize it back. Paranoid to try to regain control of the site. Goes for the shadow step inside his dark cover. But Shinobi was on that crossfire in the back of the B site, and he's going to capitalize with the headshot on to his compatriot Omen. And Nitro falls, and we have a 3-1 scoreline.
We've brought it up a few times, but we haven't seen Split that often being played in this tournament. But I think both Ascent and Split to some degree, depending on the matchup, you can see T-side at halves, but the trend with Split overall in the past several months has been moving towards an attacker-sided map. But I think there's still a level of expectation that you want to be collecting, 6 rounds at least maybe on the defense.
Yeah.
So Cloud9 already claiming 3 here on attack. They have 4 ultimates to work with. Breach, I'm not sure how close he is with his, but they're in a very commanding position in this half right now, and I think for 100 Thieves, I don't know whether or not it's an issue of needing to make adjustments, but clearly Cloud9 has found an opening over here at B, not just at the early aggression where they're finding some entries, but most of these attacks have come towards this B side, and here we are again, another Killjoy gets popped. As Cloud9 is gonna face a counter Killjoy now, or 100 Thieves will rather.
Okay. We're actually going to teleport towards A, though.
Let's go. Yeah. Rotation back to A. Cloud9 does have Relyks up here in heaven, so the pressure is very, very heavy, but Dicey will find one with the shorty. Gets back in his face. Asuna with the stinger will find one onto Mitch, and this is a 3-on-3, a winnable round for 100 Thieves, and you have a showstopper at hand. Flashes come out. TenZ retreats behind that time, is able to collect the kill on the steal, so avoids death there. Shinobi will get Asuna, but the rocket does find Shinobi. Now it's a 1-on-2 Hiko. Known for his ability to clutch, does not get it there. Vice cleans it up. 4-1, Cloud9. Way ahead now.
And people may think that, you know, you're on an ego. Why are you actually using the ultimate lockdown? Why are you using a showstopper? Look at the economy for Cloud9 as they're forcing 3 weapons to be bought back for the team. So you're still keeping a Bulldog for Vice. He could still upgrade to a Phantom if he wanted to, but that allows him to just keep the money into the next. But for the case of 100 Thieves, rather, after they get those kills with the showstopper, with the ecos that they have right after, they're going into a full gun round where they have a possibility to reset Cloud9 into the economy for this round here. But the thing is like you said, Lex, there's still a weakness to hold here towards this B side, so they are putting a lot of pressure and a lot of crossfire setups on this B side to start things off. What does that do? It weakens up map control on the mid side. It allows Relyks to continue to lurk around towards the A site as well, where he was able to get that first kill when From the Shadows came out from Shinobi into the A site. He was already on the top of the A heaven. So 100 Thieves, still, they're guessing where Cloud9's playing. You could see right now that it's a different type of playstyle for 100 Thieves as they're not used to it, right? They don't play this map often, as we mentioned before in that pregame. And into this round, it's just looking to be, look, let's play our off angles, let's try to get these wins, let's try to push them from time to time towards that B main, and to continue to do so into this round. But this time, Steel lets them walk into his crosshair. He picks up 2 kills of his own, and 100 Thieves are back in the commanding lead, at least for this round, to start things off. And the thing is, you talked about some matches being more attacker-sided for now, Lex, but 100 Thieves won the coin toss, so they chose to be on the defender side here too.
Right, and I gotta gush here for a second about this play coming out from Steel. I mean, he has he's cracked right now, and this guy, there's so much to admire about his play.
Yeah.
You know, buying so much time for the rotates coming, getting 2 kills of his own, and now, I mean, Cloud9 does have the site, but they're 2 men down, and they have no hope of planning without at least baiting that breach out, which you can count that as a win. I don't see Mitch being able to plant this without losing his life in the process, and, well, just that will happen. Hiko wisely trying to get through there. Oh my goodness!
No time.
Thought for a second there may have been enough time to him to actually grab that bomb, but the spike doesn't get planted. Valiant effort from Cloud9, but TenZ and Mitch were just delayed so much. I mean, there was 30 seconds left on that clock, and Hiko has full utility at spawn. That's what I'm talking about. The ability for 100 Thieves, for Steel basically to say, okay, I'm going to give you access to Pillar, I'm going to give you access to the bomb site without losing his own life. Collecting 2 kills there, that's so huge. The retake becomes that much easier when you have players in position at CT spawn and in heaven. And for Cloud9, you just basically at that point, even if you're not in a 2v4, even if you have more players alive, you're facing the prospect of having to basically win, you know, an infinite amount of gunfights in the open as you're crossing to the bomb site. So for 100 Thieves, they are looking like they do have a plan to contain that B hit. You know, it's just a matter of whether or not they're hitting their shots in some of these rounds. And right there, we saw Steel with 2 huge headshots to start. Yeah. So a little bit of life from 100 Thieves, and that's a good sign, considering how strong Cloud9 has looked in these opening rounds.
You still got to thank Hiko, though, that he not only had his kit, but the ultimate Rolling Thunder as well. So the Rolling Thunder with 10 seconds left, that wastes some time. Then because there's not much time left, you want to try to find the most secure spot to plant when your opponents know that you're playing towards Pillar, where you're going to hide behind that little box, which the fault line was perfectly guessed at that point by Hiko to continue to waste that time down, go with the Aftershock while he's stunned, and get that kill. Perfect use of the kit from Breach. Now for this round, Dicey does get the opening frag onto TenZ. Star fragger for Cloud9, but the second star fragger trades it back here onto the A ramp. Nitro falls. A 4 versus 4 as Asuna is pushed back from paint shells, but they already have rotated towards the A side with nobody playing towards B, actually. But Asuna and Steel still capitalizes on 2 kills. They're trying to rotate back towards this rope, towards the B, and an Aftershock forces Mitch to come up the ropes, but he comes up as a surprise Jack in a box. Steel falls, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2. He makes it a 2 versus 1 after he falls from the hands of Hiko. As flashpoint in the air, 1 versus 1, 10 seconds left on the clock. Hiko's playing this smart. Let's just hold the off angle. There's only 6 seconds left, and he manages to win that fight. I mean, Vice saw that coming. He read it like a book. He saw it from miles away that Hiko was going to be on an off angle towards the spawn side, but he still manages, for Hiko's side, to win that fight.
That's 2 rounds in a row where Cloud9, you know, the strategic advantage is theirs. Okay, they haven't necessarily like beaten the rotations or manipulated 100 Thieves to make a mistake, but they have all the tools in the right places to win a round, to crack open a bomb site right there. And instead, the trades come in. We saw Steel and Asuna battling for top of A ramp control in heaven and winning those gunfights decisively. Okay, this is very scary considering, you know, how 100 Thieves in the last map on Ascent started to come together defensively, started to rotate appropriately and set up crossfires and start working together instead of taking individual gunfights against the likes of TenZ and Relyks and Mitch. Okay, 100 Thieves is doing all the right things right now, so that's 2 rounds in a row where Cloud9 is suddenly looking a little bit outclassed on their attack. Now, we're still talking about defensive-sided split. There's a lot of rounds left to play, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from 100 Thieves right now. As the A play will come in, fast A main push coming in from Cloud9. 2 players are already through, but there is I believe it's a nano swarm delaying them. Mitch does get one on the nitro after being traded out, so 4-on-4 now. The bomb plant will come in, and we do have, you know, a Killjoy ultimate getting placed by Cloud9, and you have a Rolling Thunder on your breach. So this is a very winnable situation for Cloud9 on an eco. Mitch picking up the Phantom, finding one into Dicey, and 100 Thieves might just stop to save here. No, just waiting for the Killjoy ult, waiting their timeout. Asuna presses in towards screens. They do not have ramp control. Mitch in full possession. This is going to be a tough retake. Even with an ally Killjoy, the Rolling Thunder's going to stall them. So for 100 Thieves, great to bait out the Rolling Thunder, but this is a very, very unlikely round for 100 Thieves here, yeah. Nice shot from Hiko. See if he can at least get these weapons out of their hands. Valiant effort. Nice round from Cloud9. Beautiful eco. You know, you burned ults on both teams, which people were asking earlier about whether or not it's worth it to use ultimates on eco rounds. Well, eco rounds are certainly ones that you do not want to win, and if you want to win an eco round, sometimes you got to use them. And there it is right there, busting out 2, earning themselves a 5th round on the board, and now it's 5-3, 100 Thieves. Economically reset, Van Silly. This is bad news.
Arguably, usually, like on an eco, people often think about the Blade Storm from the Jett, and that's pretty much it. But you can see how using it as a team and then allowing you to utilize the ultimate and push as a team and actually catch 100 Thieves off guard, allow Cloud9 to actually upgrade into the weapons and win that round too. But the thing is I gotta commend Cloud9 on how they're playing on the attacker side too. So far, Dicey has been really a key factor for 100 Thieves on their defensive side when they played Ascent, because he was able to get these open shots with the operator here and there. But into this round, into this matchup, they smoked him off towards the A Heaven where he was holding towards that area. They don't really have him opting towards mid side because Cloud9 are not really taking mid control into this matchup versus 100 Thieves. And when he tries to opt towards that B main, well, he comes face to face versus flashpoints from the breach, fault lines, and just counters from the pink shells too, as Relyks moves forward as a team. So they're doing a great job to really nullify the operator setup from 100 Thieves and just push in aggressively right after. So I feel they've adapted that to it very well in 100 Thieves defense. But now as they push forward from the shadows, clearing out the A side, the eco, as they see nobody from the defender side inside left. The A area, we're just looking to go for the retake play with these pistols.
Missed shot from Mitch. He will face pressure from Dicey. Classic burst will take him down, and an operator gets gifted to 100 Thieves. Suddenly a couple kills coming out from Asuna, TenZ and Shinobi. Okay, so we're going to even things up at 3 apiece here. Bomb ticking away. 100 Thieves, though, looking to see if they can get a kill and are absolutely going to push in for it. TenZ will grab Nitro. Hiko fenced off. Dicey presses in. Doesn't get his either. So now it's just Hiko up here in heaven. Maybe looking to steal a gun away if he can manage it. But right now, it just seems like Cloud9 running away with this one. 6-3. Does Hiko get it here? There's one. There's 2. You love to see it.
And he stays alive.
And he lives. Importantly. Well done.
So
and he gets his ultimate too, actually.
Yeah.
That's
so
kind of an
kills.
underrated side note.
4 kills total for the team for 100 Thieves. An ult set up for Hiko. An ult available for Nitro that could find that information of where that next hit is coming from. You're happy with that round, but you're forcing Dicey, unfortunately, into a glass cannon setup. Where again, I think he's not finding the right spawns right now to get those entries, and it's just well-positioned dark covers that nullifies the defense for 100 Thieves. So they lose a lot of firepower when they don't have Dicey being able to open up with these operator kills. I mean, he's sitting at 4-9 just because he's well-controlled.
Yeah, and I like I said, there's a lot of rounds left to play in these maps where we're talking about momentum in the first half, but I think this is part of what I fear for 100 Thieves throughout the rest of this matchup at least, is, the way that Cloud9 seems to be exploiting the defense is just, with 5-man executes pushing in together. Not all at once necessarily. They've split B several times through Heaven, so what I'm saying isn't exactly true across the board, but at A, they haven't necessarily had an answer either.
Yeah.
So the fact of the matter is, Cloud9 is a major threat against 100 Thieves right now at both bomb sites. Adjusting to this is so hard. Dicey missing the first shot. Well, not missing, but doing significant damage.
Yep.
Yeah, fails the frag, but does get a little bit of damage out onto the Raze of Cloud9. But, that is one of those factors that you just mentioned where nullified a bit. Having that operator, having that investment not pay off regularly for you on defenses just makes it that much harder. And that's just it would be wrong for us to ignore that as we move through this game. But the B split is more than alive here, and it's not even a split, actually. There are 4 players making contact up here in B Heaven with a lurk over at A.
It's a rolling thunder from Hiko. This could be like, as soon as we see something being thrown towards the backside, he could counter back with a rolling thunder. He's going for a body peek instead. No! He gets spotted as to drop it inside the site. He still could use a rolling thunder for Steel to peek out, and he starts with the fault line. Steel in the back of the B site. Nanoswarm coming towards that front. He wins the first kill versus Mitch, sprays for the second one, and he's looking for the third as the spike falls down. That is courtesy of the man behind the mask. The man behind the site, rather. And that is all Steel. Last one to go is the man that got walled early into the round from Dicey. Only 30 HP remaining. And, it's looking to be the round for 100 Thieves, and not even a rolling thunder needed to be used from Hiko.
I can't stop stressing how impressive these site holds are from Steel. Ascent and now Split, it's just like you go to his bomb site, you're looking for the frag, they're all wandering around at pillar, and he's just so patient, hitting every mark every time he's peeking. It's not as though he's doing anything truly incredible or heroic for his team, but what it is delaying. I was almost cringing at the fact that Hiko wasn't ripping the rolling thunder when all 4 players were in front of him through the wall. But on the other side of that is he didn't even need it. Steel had everything under control. Everything was all right. Steel had everything locked up. Wow, that was impressive to watch from 100 Thieves. Now 6-4, they are definitely not out of this yet, and certainly not out of making this half a respectable one. 2 more rounds, I think, rolling into the attack side of Split. We've already got 6. I would hope that 100 Thieves has prepared at least enough to make that a competitive scoreline, but it's not over yet. B split may be coming out here in just a moment, but also has already challenged both Vice and TenZ over in the mailroom. So as Relyks is seeking to pick up a weapon here, he may be the next factor in whether or not this B site gets taken. He is, in fact. Asuna will fall.
Got
Relyks
dinked
claims 1. Yeah, takes a lot of damage for his trouble. 3-on-4 now. Quick retreat and reset for Cloud9. Not quite sure where they want to go with the spike, but there is still a player over at Ropes, so if they do decide to fall back into an A split, 100 Thieves is more than ready, and Nitro is so dangerous for this decision right now to pan out. And Cloud9 actually just breaks the alarm bot inside of Ropes and looks to work back towards B. So a little bit of a false fake there.
30 seconds left.
100 Thieves should be wide to it, and you still have the rolling thunder over there at CT. And Steel's out in the open, but he's got a Vandal in his hands, and the man cannot be denied. He collects 2 before he falls. Shinobi now in a 1v3. 100 Thieves looking to lock up their 5th of the half. There it is. He goes through the smoke. Shinobi falls, and that looked very scary for just a moment. When they were falling back towards A, I was like, Cloud9's going to fall into a trap, but at both sides, of both Ropes and B Heaven, it looked like 100 Thieves had everything under control. Well played to them. 5th round for them, looking to tie up the half, and the last round of the half here is 100 Thieves, Van Silly.
I feel this is where the mind games are coming, though, because so far where it's been successful for 100 Thieves was really putting Dicey now towards A ramp instead of A Heaven to try to go for an early pick with the operator. Then you have the full Killjoy the full Killjoy kit towards his B side, and Steel's able to anchor that area. But this time they're thinking that the attack is going to happen towards A, so they switch over Steel towards the A side, and they have Dicey opting towards the B main. The spike was dropped there intentionally and early at the round, where it looked to be a push towards the B main side, but this time Dicey seems to be ready. Just before he got paranoid, he gets the kill against his opponent, and now they're holding their grounds on all angles. 100 Thieves, it wasn't too late. They're able to tie this up to a 6-6 to really bring this into the last half of this set, best out of 3, to see who at least moves out of the groups with the top seed.
Yeah, looking like this is likely to be a 6th round for 100 Thieves. Two Cloud9 members remaining, and they are moving towards A main. Mitch will win his first gunfight, and Vice actually collects one on a steal. Unprecedented movement across that A main area. Popping his ult as Hiko, the Rolling Thunder, comes out on both, and he gets... Neither of those players even had a chance. Hiko gets them both. And that's a tied up half, 6-6. 100 Thieves looking good as the first half ends, and you know what? Cloud9, they were looking pretty comfortable at a couple different points in that half. Looking like 100 Thieves maybe didn't have answers, but they absolutely did, and here we go.
So the Rolling Thunder that we were talking about for the last few rounds is when the hell is he going to use it? And it was just going to be on that solo hold at A main instead. So we have a battle into our hands. It looked really good for Cloud9 to start things off when they continued to abuse the B side entrance, continuing to get into this B site. There you go, the man of the hour. Once they started to pick things up here towards that second part of the first half was really Steel and Dicey finally starting to land his shots with the operator. So now I want to know, what do they have for 100 Thieves on the attack? This is all unknowns for us still, as Cloud9 have had good results on this map before. And looks like they are thinking that there is somebody playing in the back of the site. And as Asuna comes through, he comes through two players, but still Dicey comes back for the trade.
Unable to get the nade out there on site, unfortunate. So the trade does fall, like you said, 4-on-4, and the pressure is immediate from Cloud9. They do not want to wait to retake this. Already in the bomb site, TenZ, Shinobi finding one apiece. A second shorty frag from TenZ. The defuse is coming through, and now it's just Steel in a 1v3. I don't think there's any way he's going to get this done. He's over there in heaven. Yeah. Trying to take a long-range battle. Not going to happen. Cloud9 taking the second half pistol decisively with a fast B hit. Or, excuse me, a fast retake on the B hit. And, you know, that shorty coming in from TenZ just already in your face. They had no hope. Well played to Cloud9.
It was as much as a fast hit as a fast retake for both of these teams. And from that strategy, you saw the idea from Steel, putting that turret up, and he just wanted his team to stay alive as much as possible so he could flank back in the end. But when you saw how fast Cloud9 went back for the retake, I mean, it was aftershock after flashpoints, and then also TenZ with the shorty has done enough damage and prevented 100 Thieves from getting anything out of it, because from the flashpoints and from the aftershock, you're putting him into close range battles versus that shorty. So again, it's TenZ's teammates enabling him to get these kills. But on this Eco, 400 Thieves are trying to take control of this A site, at least just to try to get a spike plant on this force buy, actually, as Asuna trades it back with the Stinger. They do take control of the site, they will get a spike plant, and you still have utilities available for the attacker side, but they have a one-man disadvantage. A low HP for Omen, and the Bucky does not ring so far, and it does on the second. Dicey close range, looking to trade it back on 2 kills of his own, but Relyks says no, and they will get the defuse.
Wow, that actually was pretty close. I think if Steel maybe had won his gunfight over top A ramp, we didn't see it, but that was kind of the defining point where once you kind of give up the A ramp control that early in a retake, you know, the post plant's going to crumble, especially when you only have SMGs at range. So Cloud9 pressuring that very quickly. Once again on the retake, pans out for them. 100 Thieves does manage a bomb plant, but the fact that they forced into that round means another equal will be in store for them. You know, you might be able to see some light armor. Sheriff buys on Nitro and Asuna, I believe. But, you know, this is not an expectation that they're going to be investing much into here anyway.
Yeah.
A lot of rounds left to play. It's only 6-8. And, you know, after losing pistol and losing the follow-up round, you got to be in a mindset to just continue the pressure. And here it is, another fast play from 100 Thieves. Dicey up the ramp. And the A play is already coming out. Cloud9 has conceded it for the most part.
Yeah, but they don't want to continue into the heaven side. They actually played it back into a tight angle. The Lear comes out, but the Frenzy does ring, and Asuna trades it back, so it's a one-man advantage for 100 Thieves. They could upgrade into these weapons. They could still decide to switch back to ropes into B main, because you still have somebody lurking towards that B main. But unfortunately, Steel has fallen towards, it seems as though towards that B main. Yes, indeed. And now it's Nitro looking back towards this heaven side smoke.
And I'm not sure I mind that they tried to retake the top of A ramp there, but questionable to not clear the corner. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
But 8-6, 3-on-3 on this kind of a round. Cloud9 definitely still has the advantage, and this is going to be tough for 100 Thieves to get the bomb down. Okay, Relyks finding one in Austin, and that kind of tells that story succinctly. Quick frag going his way, another one onto Nitro, and it's just Hiko now. He actually collects the ultimate orb for his troubles, so consolation prize there. If he can collect the plant and a death, they'll have his ultimate in the next round. Doesn't quite get that far, but he's only one away. Relyks earns his ultimate there, and 9-6 means Cloud9 moving into this second half gun round. Finally, we see one. This will be the real test for 100 Thieves and whether or not they're going to have life throughout the rest of this half, fancily.
Yeah. I like the attempt that they had for 100 Thieves, though, because Nitro was still holding towards that mid side. He smoked on the top with a dark cover into A Heaven. I thought from that play, we would have 100 Thieves rotate back through ropes and then take B. But the thing is, Hiko is stuck still all the way towards A main, where he can't really cross towards the A ramp. So the idea now was that he had a flashpoint still from the A ramp side, wanted to flash into the A heaven in case somebody's playing towards that backside corner, and he could peek out through the dark cover and try to get the kill. But unfortunately, his defender was all the way back towards spawn side entrance where he wasn't affected by that flash. So that could have been a round that could have worked in favor of 100 Thieves should Cloud9 be out of position, but they were not. Into this round, they are also still not out of position as they take a 1-minute advantage from an aggressive push. Dicey trying to come up towards the A ramp again, and they lose it. But now they're looking to make a lot of noise here towards the vents, so that Hiko could probably go for a fault line, towards the A heaven, and they press back on that area just to clear it. That's why that dark cover is there. So the fault line should be coming out, and then the ropes to try to come back out. Actually, they're just speaking one by one. This is not a good idea. It was a counter paranoia that came through as well, and finally Nitro gets the kill onto TenZ. That was a little bit of an opportunity wasted.
Yeah, I was really liking what I was seeing from 100 Thieves in terms of their positioning, and it seemed like Cloud9 playing the top A ramp position was almost due to be foiled. Yeah, TenZ wise to do it, turns around, collects 2. Relyks finding 1 more, and now this is just a 1-on-4 situation for Nitro, and you know, with this much on the line, you know, 10-6, you can see that probably, even though you have 25 seconds left. I just don't see the reality in which he was able to plant the spike.
No.
However, if he can manage to save the weapon, that would be a consolation prize. 100 Thieves, like we were just talking about, though, I think that
10 seconds
you know,
left.
we could chalk that up to timing. You could say that that was maybe just like a little bit of chance that Cloud9 turned around when they did. But like you said, picking him one at a time, that's TenZ at a headshot angle. I trust that he's going to collect those kills if he's ready for it. And it just so happened that it turned out that way. 15 and 10 on the scoreboard. He's not exactly carrying C9 by any means. It's an even distribution across the board. But when you do give him those opportunities to kind of just, you know, roll the aim, he's going to hit you with it. Collects those 2 kills, and it's the round's pretty much over. So for 100 Thieves, you know, you're not out of this yet by any means, but you need to find some way into this round and make it competitive. You do have some ultimates to work with. You have a Phantom that maybe can get you an entry. So I expect maybe they're going to roll with a 5-man hit somewhere and see if they can trade the kills out.
Seems that's going to be the case towards the A site. The fault line's going to come from Hiko towards Heaven, which would allow Dicey to dash over again with the knives this time. But as you do have that first alarm, boom bot that came out that didn't spawn anybody, maybe he's just going to save that fault line for a little bit later. Relyks watching it from the Heaven side. He does have a showstopper to work with too. We have crossed over from Nitro's dark cover towards the A main, and we're still relying on Dicey to have that opener into the site. Jumps up towards screen. It's an open site actually towards the A side, and a 4-man stack. Look at this early rotate. They're expecting some sort of a push where they could put a dark cover again towards Heaven side, ropes to B. But from the shadows comes out, information is given. They have 3 more ults to work with on the attacker side. They have the Rolling Thunder. There's a showstopper from both ends, and it's going to be Rocket Arena. But they both stay alive for now. Dicey still looking back at screens. It seems as though the final hit will happen towards the A side. He dashes in, but cannot get the right click, unfortunately. And because of that, you capitalize on so many kills for Cloud9. Hiko is going to be the last man standing, and TenZ takes him down when they only got 1 kill from that Hiko.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't enough invested into that round to feel bad about it. Just got to brush it off, move on to the next one. But you did hope a bit that maybe they could have collected a couple more frags. But 11-6, this is quite a deficit now for 100 Thieves, but it's certainly not insurmountable. Absolutely still in this game. And, you know, we do have a Rolling Thunder on Hiko. And it's not as though there's any particular player. I mean, Nitro's 6-12, but he's playing a fine game. It's nothing to do with the scoreboard, really. I think overall, Cloud9 is woken back up to their bind form, at least. You know, across the board, all 5 players are playing well again. So 100 Thieves needs strategically to find an opening here, and they're going to look for it towards B. And this is a wise call. There's 3 players at mid. The Rolling Thunder comes back towards Heaven. It does not hit anybody. But the push comes in. Cloud9 is smoked off up here in the B Heaven, and actually Mitch will fall. So
Nitro lurk.
So this is suddenly a a 4-on-5 retake scenario. 100 Thieves heavily favored to take this, but it's just getting started. The paint shells roll in. The retake is on.
Well, Steel's in the back of the site. It's a big leer that TenZ gets the kill onto Asuna. And there you go. He pops out the ult, and TenZ has to hold it back towards health. And that's going to waste a lot of time, and they're trying to push forward and just trying to take down the ultimate, but Dicey is holding at the spawn side. Aftershock, they know that TenZ is at hell, and he dismisses away, so he avoids the Aftershock, but then Nitro pushes forward to finally seal the deal in the round for 100 Thieves.
Perfect play call from 100 Thieves. I mean, that B hit couldn't have been better orchestrated or timed. I mean, all three players from Cloud9 were ready to almost get mid-control from mailroom. You know what I mean? Like, just have a flash ready, maybe rip a Rolling Thunder or whatever you had at your disposal at that moment. But, you know, the fact is 100 Thieves made a great play call. They stole away around, in my opinion. That is that's one you need in this comeback attempt. Now, certainly you're not at a point where Cloud9 is going to have their money broken if you win this round, but keeping them honest is, you know, these rounds piling up for Cloud9, slipping 4 in a row, finally being able to break that slip. I think that's great news for 100 Thieves fans, because, you know, the gun rounds up to this point haven't seen success. But
yeah,
I wonder whether or not some of that has to do with just a bad play call out of Cloud9 or a great one from 100 Thieves.
And the thing is, too, Lex, is they're able to get control of that site because of a Rolling Thunder to clear things off here for Hiko and 100 Thieves. But when it comes down to no ultimates to try to get into the site, that's where they are struggling a little bit. They were struggling to get more map control than the A ramp. They were trying to get map control towards mid side. Now they're going to try towards B, where they're just going to try to dash in, get the flashes, but the crossfire is still there for Cloud9. This is a big test for them to see if they can get into a site, get a post-plant position without having to use any ultimates, and it starts with a body peek and a wall bang from Vice.
And Cloud9 has the perfect setup for whatever gimmick play 100 Thieves just came out with. Unfortunately for them, each aspect of this approach has been shut down and locked down by Cloud9. The kills just come one after another, and suddenly Nitro's alone in heaven. That was a perfect crossfire. And, you know, you had a lot of breach utility if you're paying attention to that angle. There's a lot of ways that you could have gotten timinged if you're Cloud9 on that bomb site. It seemed as though it might happen, but Steel himself had his elbow peeking out just enough. Mitch, or sorry, I'm Vice over there at the B Heaven catwalk.
Yeah.
Just seeing the edge of him is enough to blow up that whole strat.
Exactly. When you see that 100 Thieves are setting up for a set play into the site, if one falls, they don't have anything to adapt right away to go for a trade. So as you were calling the kills, the kill feed went 1 kill, we waited a second, another kill, another second. And it continued that way until all 5 of them died. So they were all in separate positions, looking for a very set explosive play towards the site. But when that happens, where the plan is spoiled from the first kill, it just doesn't pan out for them to adapt with a 4-man push in the end, because they just got picked one by one.
An unfortunate fight there for TenZ. I think he maybe thought members of 100 Thieves at mid there, including Asuna, had been pushed back by that flashbang, but I believe the Omen smoke ate it. I don't think it came through.
Yeah.
So no one was blind. They were ready for it. The Reyna flash did nothing. And now the 100 Thieves push towards B is against a weakened and abandoned bomb site. There are players over in Hell and Heaven, but the overall approach is wide open. They exploit that immediately. There are 3 players in the bomb site, 2 over in Heaven, and this is a 100 Thieves bomb site through and through. Cloud9, if you just check the minimap, already packed their bags, vacated the area, and they're looking to save over an A. And this is that's one of those rounds where you may be poked out mid for mid aggression, and I respect the attempt out of Cloud9, but to stick around in that Omen smoke, play the spray battle, even if you are rocking a Phantom and feel like you're a little safe, unfortunately, there's just not a lot of room to miss. TenZ ate the first 5 or 6 bullets out of Asuna's Phantom, and that round was history at that point. Vice will fall, but three weapons for Cloud9 would be great. I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity to, though.
We're looking for exits.
Here's Relyks. Collects 1. Mitch somehow kills himself? Is that intentional?
Yeah, I saw him jump down towards that site. Yeah, he jumped down towards the site and even tapped towards that spike. So I think he was trying to have 100 Thieves say, oh my god, he's going to try to ninja defuse, have a couple of people turn around back into the B main so that Relyks could come back and actually get the kills. But as 100 Thieves are a little bit smarter. They know that the timing is off, that they're not going to get the defuse no matter what, so they continue to retreat back towards that B main. That didn't allow Relyks to get more than one kill, because at that point, yes, we did call a save in the beginning too, but they had so much money to work with as well into this next round, so they wanted to make it expensive for 100 Thieves.
That's cool. I like that play. Yeah. Spreading the map now is 100 Thieves. Working it slow. And honestly, you're going to have caution going into a comeback like this. You're down 12-8. You're on series match point here, right? This is it. If you're out, you basically have no choice but to make 0 mistakes from here on out. So working a very slow default is 100 Thieves, very deliberate. Don't want to make any foolish or unnecessary mistakes, unforced errors. But Cloud9 playing ever so passive. One member sitting deep over there at screens, and a player in the A bomb site is the defense that will surely be tested if the 100 Thieves side decides to make an A approach, but Killjoy's already rotated off, actually, as I say that. They're sensing B, but it's A. Spike has rotated all the way back through spawn. Any moment now, yeah, Cloud9 is wise to it. And that's Mitch rotating back through CT spawn, but no additional rotators, so they haven't clued in on it yet. They've got to know now. There's TenZ moving over quickly, but 100 Thieves is already making their advance up A ramp. And the A hit is on.
30 seconds left.
Empress gets popped by TenZ. 25 seconds remaining on the clock. The A push is coming now.
Huge.
Pushing through that elbow position in the screen smoke is TenZ with his Empress out. Asuna had no chance. Relyks and TenZ with a firing squad on site. Collecting one after another, and this should be GG. And there it is. Relyks rocket jumping to victory, 13-8. Cloud9 takes the series 2-1 over 100 Thieves.
Man, I was going to say, the only thing that they have in an ultimate on the scoreboard for that round was TenZ's Empress. Surely 100 Thieves could actually make it into the site. But as the Empress gets popped by 10.